To the barber shop. You're welcome. To the barber shop.
Episode number 239 of Barbershop Podcast, coming to you live from Boxo Studio in the great city of Hamilton, Ontario, the blast furnace of live original music. And every week, we broadcast worldwide in high definition and high fidelity the very best from Steel City and the surrounding areas. We've got stories, we've got music, we show you the human side of original independent music. We document a little snapshot, a slice of history for your ears and for your eyes forever. Remember, Barbershop Podcast, we do right by you, and tonight is no different. A couple firsts, technologically speaking. I'm amazed constantly, as I am every week, with the sheer proficiency and the excellence of execution displayed by Mr. Ryan Cannon and Mr. Gary Greenland, and setting
taking the mic back.
Taking the mic back because there's one mic and Gary has been taking that seat.
We'll share. So I think Gary earned it, but I got seniority having no mic.
Not having no mic is enough. And if it was a little more, sparkling, perhaps, but he's been all right.
But yeah, this is a incredible thing we've done tonight. We completely rearranged the studio. 2 studios running at the same time. It's good.
Yeah, it's fantastic what you can do with a little bit of ingenuity and a lot of electronics. In this case, a lot of talent. So tonight's guest is Bus from the Green Room here at Boxo Studio. Boxo, your source for audio, video, and music needs, requirements, and life. It's just a night. Individual. This is the very first person who ever had faith in me, write their bio to do actual music, and the part that to do, which is the power of the written word. Someone I didn't know a lot about when I was working at a and someone introduced me to him. He came in. I was duly impressed. That was 1990s, late 1990s, and it is 2017. He's still making music, and we're still making music, and we're still friends. And I'm so glad come in with a couple of guys and really blow you away tonight. If you know who it is, you know what I'm talking about. And if you know to Shawn, brother, it's good to see you. Thanks for the studio.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. We've known each other, going on years. Been playing music a long time before that. Your earliest record, did you start playing guitar right away?
Some people ask me, how long have you been playing? And I said, well, I just got off stage for 20 minutes. I started when I was about 13, 14 years old. Late grade, early grade. I think that's the spring of grade. I started playing. I had a cab driver, couldn't walk to school. I had on my legs and stuff, and I go over to the driver's place. Looked around the corner, and he played guitar. My dad had it, and he showed me chords. And the cab driver showed me things, and Robert was his name, and I quickly just going from there. And it was after 3 months I went to see a named Dave McLean, and he's a wonderful guitar player. And I asked him, didn't ask him, I told him he could teach me now.
You ready?
Yeah. And that were very close to me in my world. Dave's wife, Anita McLean, she was my babysitter when I was a kid. So everything was,
Coming
close in my world. Yeah. And speaking of Anita McLean, she has some of her paintings that the city of Hamilton has put up downtown core. And there's one on Catherine Street just before King, like going south, and it's in the first alley there, just before King Street, up high above it. It's in the alley, and it's a picture of an old man, and it's actually the grandfather of the painting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now you're a Burlington lad, but you've got a kind of an affinity and affiliation with Hamilton, obviously. Working with a lot of musicians, both here, there, and everywhere, and covering a lot of different styles too. What was kind of the progression of what you played and how you played? Say from the time you were a high school, did you start off strictly as doing cover songs, or did you have the writing bug right off the bat?
I never did covers, never ever. The only covers I did were really obscure bluegrass songs, and I didn't start singing until way late. Music, for me, music was my friend. The guitar was my friend. I come home from school and I would sit in front of the TV and just sit and play for hours and just work on chords and scales and trying to make my playing as clean as possible. And Dave McLean was quite a mentor to me. He taught me my basic theory, and I used to go on Monday nights. I was in high school, like I was, 14 years old. I would go to a place called the Oliver Twist Room, and it was the Ben-Hur restaurant, which is now a fitness gym.
What are they doing to us?
Plains Road and Waterdown Road, and so I would go down there on Monday nights, and there was a couple of guys there. They would play folk songs. They would play old folk songs, Woody Guthrie, Bob Dylan, and 60s kind of folk songs. And then Tuesday nights, I would go to a place called the Rusty Nail, and that's now called the Kerrigan Arms. It's still there. Only the names change, right? The bars are there.
And depending how old you are, it's like, what was it before that?
Yeah.
What was it before that?
Yeah, and then it was that thing in between.
Yeah.
And, the Kerrigan Arms had, the Rusty Nail, sorry. It had two rooms, like, the male and female entrance kind of thing. And on one side was the stage, and there was a guy there that played blues on Tuesday nights, Jim Avon, guitar man Jim Avon, and he played a pedal board with his feet. He played bass, and he had one of the first drum machines that he controlled, start and stop, and a drum fill with his feet. He played harmonica and played guitar all at once.
You were duly impressed.
And I would just sit there, and try to keep up with the guitar. And he played everything like Muddy Waters and David Wilcox and Jimi Hendrix. And he was really talented because he did all the bass with his feet and soloed on the guitar. And when I got to college, he was doing the college circuit then, and he had everything pre-recorded by then.
Yeah.
But he used to do everything on the fly, like walking bass lines with his feet, literally walking bass lines. And then on Wednesday nights, I would go to the Naval Club on Industrial Street, which is still there.
Right next to Hills.
Yep. And we did bluegrass. And then Thursday nights, I would go to Legion and Waterdown, and I would play bluegrass. And Friday nights, I would sneak in somewhere and play, or go to a music festival, or depending on the time of year and what was happening. And then Saturday afternoons, I would go to a friend of mine, Mike Brophy. Craig Brophy was a couple years younger than me, and his dad, Mike, was a TTC driver, and his big thing on the weekend was to get a case of 50 and sit on the couch in the basement and play guitar all day and all night. And as kids, we just sat there and ate it up, for 12 hours a day.
That was a good use of a Saturday.
Yeah. And we just played and played and played, and we loved it. And Mike Brophy was drinking beer, and he had, I can't remember the fellow playing bass. He had an old Gibson bass with a pickup slide.
Yeah, the grabber.
It was really cool because the pickup it only had one pickup, but it was on rails.
Yeah.
And it could move. Anyway, I remember him falling over one night, just fell out of the chair face first, and we just kept playing.
It's true.
So that's what I did.
Yeah, repetition just kept playing and kept getting
And,
better.
One night was folk music, one night was bluegrass, and a couple of nights, and then I got introduced to the bluegrass music and started to go to a few festivals And in bluegrass music, people are just so great. You can come stay with us. We'll give you a ride.
Yeah.
I didn't need any money. I didn't need anything, and I was young and I could sleep on a couch. And
Often referred to as the rock and roll of country. It must have appealed to you as a younger man too, but a hell of a flat picker.
Well, yeah, that's where I developed my flat picking and cross picking style, and I listened to Dave McLean had turned me on to Norman Blake, who was in the early '60s. Doc Watson was the first kind of flat picking guitar player, and kind of the patriarch. And in California, it was Clarence White, and he was on like the Andy Griffith show, like the Young Bluegrass. There was two bands, the Dillards and the Clarence White and his brother Roland White. And Clarence White went on to play with the Byrds and all the landmark Sweethearts of the Rodeo. So he's in the history books for two things: being a great flat picking guitar player, and then playing the Telecaster and playing like a pedal steel mechanism inside his guitar. Kind of made history twice, that guy, and he was killed by a drunk driver.
Jesus.
Yeah, after a gig. And I got to go in the last time I was in Nashville in 09, I think it was 09 and 10. I was in Nashville, and I went to Roland White's and hung out with him, and he let me play one of Clarence's guitars, and he gave me a book and autographed it and everything, and he was really hospitable.
Yeah, it's nice when the community realizes that not everyone knows that name, and when someone comes by and shows an interest, especially from out of the area, they're quite accommodating and just beautiful people. In music in general, quite often, I'm sure you'll find that as the stories continue.
Well, I like to think bluegrass is the back door to country music, especially like the Ricky Skaggs and the Keith Whitleys and those guys, Marty Stewart, and they're all come from the bluegrass. And
absolutely.
And I met a lot of people like just hanging out in Nashville with the bluegrass guys, just by chance, So it was kind of cool.
Cool indeed. Well, cool is what we do here in the way of music. We're great proponents of live original music. It is featured on a regular basis in your city, certainly in this city or your town. Check out the listings in either the newspaper or just put it into the internet and you will find it. We do our very best to showcase it, and Shawn is going to start off playing a live tune. You're a troubadour and a storyteller. You've developed your own style over the years. What are you going to start off with tonight?
We're going to do a blues. I got my buddy Harry White came here.
Yeah, I have to say, sorry, that Harry White and George Kalexikos downstairs giving us a hand in the orchestra pit.
Yeah, and this is a first that we're doing here.
Yeah, we've never done a multi-studio presentation of a song.
So, barring any mistakes, forgive us, and let's make
this is Beauty and the Beast.
History.
Boxo history. You're going to hear it right here, right now on barbershoppodcast.com.
Beauty and the Beast ain't got nothing on me. Beauty and the Beast ain't got nothing on me. Won't somebody please have mercy on me? Brothers and sisters, tell me now, am I the ugly duck? Brothers and sisters, tell me now, am I the ugly duck? Mama Mama and Papa wouldn't tell me nothing. I'm the only one. I'm like Romeo, Romeo and Juliet. I'm like Romeo, Romeo and Juliet. You know, I can't get over, I can't get over her, not yet. And when I get down, you know I cannot help myself. Lord, when I get down, you know I cannot help myself. Lord, when I get down, you know I cannot get back up. I'm like a bird with a broken wing. I'm like a bird with a broken wing here. Well, I even lost my will to sing. Take it home.
Sweet Sensation. Beauty and the Beast by Shawn Brush. You've got quite a number of, got a lot of songs. How many records, last recollection, do you have out there?
Well, I started in '94. Recorded The Wooden Hill, and then did a CD. That was a cassette. And then I did The Land of the Giants, and then there was a bootleg tape, and then there was the Adrian Gale, which is about the time I met you.
Yeah.
And then there was 1999, plus shipping and handling.
Yeah, I love that. That was great.
And my dad was with me when we did that. We went up to Schaumburg and recorded it at a Puck's farm, and we did it in a day, in an afternoon.
Quite a famous place up there. Beautiful piece of equipment. Beautiful kind of mythology that goes along with Puck's farm.
Well, you know the guy who started that, eh? his name. He passed away a few years ago. His name was Mohawk Frazier, and that's the guy who. One of his first jobs. He was from California. His first job was promoting the Hollywood Bowl for the Beatles, and he introduced. Well, not introduced, but reintroduced Stephen Stills and Neil Young, and was there when they named it Buffalo Springfield.
Wow.
And so that's where Mohawk Frazier and Puck's Farm is from.
and these are the kind of layers, and when you start meeting these people, hearing these stories, and real stories, true stories.
Yeah, how deep it goes.
It does. And it keeps me going every week. I say this, people come in here, and it's inspiring for me to get people's energy that they bring in, and it's tough. We've talked about the mental health. We did the mental health record here. We're talking about the artist and how inspiration and desperation walk hand in hand, and so many people live and carry on due to the sacrifice a lot of artists make, and they bleed and they put something out that these people can immerse themselves into, and they can feel empathy that somebody shares their pain, and something happens when you're creating to write, to turn your personal journey into a universal kind of message.
I'm learning a lot more about it lately. I've struggled with my own depression and stuff, and I've got some really good doctors, and for musicians, artists, performers, dancers, singers, comedians, actors, there's a lot to be said for the creative process, and to emote, and also the writers, not just the music writers, but writers, to be able to offer your gift to the world. And some are very lucky to make a living at it, but is to share our gift, and it's in its own way is healing ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's something, I don't think you don't go into it lightly. You pick to say, I'm going to be this. I think you're chosen, and it picks you.
Yeah, I've said that time and time again, and so many people believe that entertainers are naturally or automatically extroverts, and they're stage hogs, and they want the limelight, when quite often
they need it.
They need it, but they've been recruited. They have to do it. It's a rite of passage.
Yeah, it's not just a calling. It's a need. You have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And time again, when they swear, that's it, I'm done with this thankless, penniless business, they come back because they have to.
That's what they do.
That's what they do. So we at Boxo Studio, we like to produce music that's agent of change. We like to see musicians become involved and write songs that can become a message, an idea that can become an action. And back in 2011, we produced something called Steelworkers Waltz, and it was at the time that Stelco had been purchased by U.S. Steel, and the last 900 or so men and women were out on the picket line, and people believed that they were on strike, and in fact they were locked out. And we've seen since then what's happened, the kind of raw deal that went on. So just kind of off the cuff, we thought, well, let's put together a record where people can write songs about the steel industry, about the society, about anything associated with the Rust Belt history of the city. And had 15 amazing contributions, and I was producing this one, or engineering this one. So the quality of my work kind of got better as they went along. And
well, that was a precursor to what you're doing now.
What I'm doing now, It really was. And you were the last. I was really happy because they got stronger, the quality. And you came in here and recorded this. I remember you said, it's not my first rodeo, Kev. I said, I know it's not your first rodeo, but you did this amazing song called The Color of Steel. And I don't think you'd written it to
I brought the pedal steel.
Yeah.
And we actually tracked some stuff.
Yeah, right in here. And it was wonderful to see the process kind of come out. And you made this beautiful song for this record. You didn't rehash something. You forged it out of, the real stuff.
Yeah, just to interject for a second, this song is the only one I have on Spotify right now.
Really?
I pulled all my stuff off the internet, and I'll tell you why later.
All right. Well, you heard it, and you're going to hear it. This is The Color of Steel, beautiful song on Steelworkers Waltz from Shawn Brush on barbershoppodcast.com.
Passionate steel burns red hot and gold. Pour it out on the floor. Watch the naked soul. Blue flames down on like the color of steel. Walk 1,000 miles to show how it feels. The pain is real, like a blister on the heel. Will it ever heal? The color of steel must be the midnight heat that's been torturing me, and it's driving me way out of my head into the street. I'm turning to steel. I'm still running scared at 2:45. It's a lonely nightmare hanging over me. If I could see the stars, they might say I'm free. Must be the midnight heat that's been torturing me. I'm out on the edge of a losing streak, and I'm turning cold as steel. And the colors I bleed, oh, the strength I feel as I turn to steel. Over and over, time and again, I'm burning like steel.
And that is The Color of Steel from Steelworkers Waltz, a Boxo studio production. You can still find that around town if you go and ask at any of the record stores, because it's a dying breed getting around to a record store. We have to deal with the interweb these days. It is the medium that kind of bankrupted us, and by us, it's the royal we as the music business. But it provides a reach and an immediacy like has never existed before. So it's a real two-sided, coin, as they all are. How do you, what's your approach with the internet as far as dealing and promoting your music, promoting yourself, or do you even bother anymore?
Well, the thing I've noticed, and from my own reading and history of musicians, my first outing was a cassette, and CDs were still, it was just kind of the transition, the early 90s there. CDs were it was the tail end of the cassette. And then the next thing was, well, you got to get a web page, and the internet was very, in the mid 90s, it was very new. And and then it was the next new thing, and then it was the MP3, and then now it's, well, you got to get the video. Like videos were around, but all these things become available and more less expensive for the artist, you know.
Yeah.
So you got to be an actor, a singer, a songwriter, a publisher, and you wear all these different hats. And when I'd done before the Wooden Hill, I did one song. I did a production. It was on RDR Records, and Joe Wood was the guy who ran that, and it was a compilation CD business. So, you know, you couldn't afford to do your own CD, but for, you know, $1,000 or $1,200 or $700, we'll promote your song, and we'll send it out to radio stations and ask them to play it and stuff. So that was appealing to guys that are, you know, having kind of got $10,000 to do a recording, and you've already got one song recorded, and you can put it out there and see if it's see what it does, see how you feel about it. And so there's the first example of the artist goes out and spends his hard-working dollar, or the wannabe artist, let's say someone who's starting out, and someone says, well, I can do this for you, and they send it out, and you get played in Dauphin, Manitoba, or Brandon, Manitoba, by some DJ, and it's the new CD, and they play it that week, and then they never play it again, and and then the royalty check comes around at the end of the year, and you're like, oh wow, I got a check, $65, and you go, wait a minute, I spent $1,000 plus my time, sweat, and energy took to record it, and you know,
to make your
artistic debut or whatever. So then I, you know, did my own cassette, and no instrumentation, just solo guitar and voice, and just sold a whole bunch of them just out of the back of the car. And then, of course, then it was, oh, I can do you a website, you know, and then it's like, that's the same kind of thing. And well, then you got to learn to do it yourself. And then, so like, there's so many things you start taking on, and it gets easier and easier to do, and then more and more people are doing it. And of course, you know, not to put anyone down, but there's some people that the quality of their art isn't quite appealing to the masses, and so you have the record bin full of stuff that nobody is ever gonna, and the internet is becoming a cesspool of that. And anybody who thinks they sing and play, you know, like there's a, you know, a guy and a girl singing and they're out of tune, and they just think they're the next thing, you know.
And there's a great fatigue that tends to happen for the audience, and a very small percentage who are really out there honestly looking to find new music. Most people are very comfortable with the music they knew from last year or the 2 years before,
or 20 years ago,
or 20 years or 30 years ago. They say most of us stop buying new music. Exactly. What can be available? And even when you get on satellite radio, you're, you know, dialing up the exact things that you want down to the T. There's no surprises.
Well, these are the ways of the future. The satellite, the no advertising, you pay for it. The iTunes. This is part of the reason I pulled everything offline, because you broker a deal with somebody and they put your song online to sell as an MP3 or whatever, and you get a breakdown. You sold 100 songs, 100 downloads, and one song is a nickel, another song is 3 cents, the other one is 40 cents,
one's a tenth of a
one
cent.
Is streaming, one is, and well, why can't I just sell it myself on my own website? And so that's the next thing that's going to happen. I've been reading about Bitcoin technology, and there's
cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, cryptocurrencies, and there's a girl in England. She's created it's not so much the Bitcoin idea, it's the technology, the crypto technology, that to do contracts, wills, mortgages, deeds, because it can't be disproven, it's dated and you know, time-stamped with the internet, and anyone who shares the platform. Countries are going to start doing it. Iceland has its own Bitcoin.
God love Iceland, eh?
Well, they're the only ones who threw them in jail too, right? The bankers.
Seem to be.
But there's I think the girl's name is Heap, something Imogene Heap. That's who has come up with this kind of crypto contract for musicians. So they don't need a lawyer or a manager. They can take their music directly to, like a movie production and say, if you want to use my music, here's the crypto contract. So it's less money, but I get all the money.
Praise
I
be.
don't have, someone representing me. And as long as it's done, correctly, I guess everything's okay.
Yeah, that's what
so
we
like that was the thing. I wasn't, I was on iTunes, and I just said, well, why am I giving them 30 cents of what I do? And the guys like the Merle Haggards and the bigger guys, they say, well, I got a deal from iTunes. Like, I don't get what everybody else gets. I get I get treated better because I sell a lot more. So that's part of the reason I pulled all the stuff off there.
Well, it's live and learn, that's for sure.
And Spotify was interesting because you do get paid from it. It is streaming. And when I pulled it, I got an immediate response because there were people that emailed me and said, hey, I can't find your music. I listen to it all the time on Spotify. And like, I use Spotify and I would listen to it because it came free on my phone for 2 years. But I don't care really, like it's a funny time and a funny place for musicians. It's like a throwback to, before recorded music, when, the only way to make money was to perform live and to sell sheet music.
You get a following.
And then, once recorded music came along, the new technology, people got exploited, and then copyright, and people to this day still get screwed by lawyers in the music industry, and the Tom Pettys and the battles that they had to fight, to get the rights back. The International Songwriters Association in Nashville, half of their whole mandate is like just fighting for the artist's rights and getting rights back for them that they signed crappy contracts years ago.
And there was a lot of that went on. And eventually,
it's still going on.
Yeah.
Still.
The point where even if there was a legal provision that's made, it's
so every time there's this new technology, like I was saying, then you got the CD, and then you got the MP3, and you got the website, and I've talked to a lot of people about it. There was one girl I know, she used to be a part of the accounting team for the Tragically Hip, and just, she didn't do it anymore because, everything got smaller and smaller, and then she managed another band and did stuff, and the way now is live music, and what you're doing right here, the Spotify, the satellite radio, and Boxo Studios, what this is the future, I think.
Yeah.
Until we don't know what comes along next or adds to it. Or maybe we'll have a 3D hologram where I sit in your living room.
That would be cool. And you could call up someone from yesteryear.
You put the VR glasses on, and I'll be in your living room, right?
Yeah. Technology is not a replacement; it is going to augment, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to do another live tune, so you get to feel it. You get to feel the passion, and you get to see. Like George wasn't scheduled to play drums. He just kind of showed up because it's his birthday. It's George's birthday today, and you said yourself is one of your favorite drummers, and we had the little drum box, so he's sitting in, and that addition,
this is when we say we need all the tweets and the thumbs up.
Yeah,
and the
loves and the hearts. We got thumbs, but not enough hearts. Let's get some hearts on.
Happy birthday to George.
George, gotta love him. So what are you going to do for us next, brother?
Well, we started off, we were talking about bluegrass, and that was kind of but I played blues and different things, and I did Beauty and the Beast, which is kind of a jazzy minor blues, where I'm going to do a cover of a Tony Joe White, my take on a Tony Joe White song, and it's one of the ones that when I play live, Harry and usually Mark Foley plays guitar with me, and he couldn't make it tonight because it's his girlfriend's birthday tomorrow.
Yeah, good for Judy.
Judy Rideout's birthday tomorrow.
Yeah, she's 30. Plus
yeah,
20.
yeah. 30 already?
30 already. You can't believe it.
29.
She looks 29.
Yeah, she acts 12.
Gotta love it.
So yeah, we're going to do Cool Town Woman.
Cool Town Woman. I love the way it sounds, and it was a hot, sticky day. It's getting cool now in evenings, but you're going to hear it. This is Shawn Brush, Cool Town Woman, right now on barbershoppodcast.com.
Dream about you, baby, but my dog woke me up last night. Dream about you, baby, but my dog out all night. Lay there thinking about you till the morning light. I miss you so bad, alimony ain't been paid. Miss you so bad, alimony ain't been paid. All the cool town woman so bad carries a blade. Go downtown, got a razor in my shoe. Go downtown, got a razor in my shoe. I go to Jane and Finch, I carry a pistol too. Miss you so bad, alimony ain't been paid. Miss you so bad, alimony ain't been paid. All the cool town woman so bad carries a blade. Move to the country, buy me a piece of ground. Move to the country, buy me a piece of ground. All the cool town woman showing up, up and down. Harry White on the bass.
Harry White on the bass. How about that? Harry puts on a fantastic show. Surface out at his ranch.
Have you been?
On Snake Road. I've yet to be. Never managed to make it for one reason or another. But he is a purveyor of music, a great lover of music, a philanthropical individual when it comes to that.
You got to hook up with Cadillac Bill and do a segment together and do it out there.
Yes, we were discussing
wireless,
because they don't have the interweb, so we'll have to figure something out. That's for another day, a future run at what Harry does out there, which is great, bringing people together. All right, speaking of giving people together, my segue into your taxes and the need for them to be done right, and your books for the need for them to be kept. It is important that to have organization, to have efficiency, and to do the right thing. And if you're not good with numbers, then hire someone who is good with numbers. And that's what I do. And that's Heather over at Taxes Done Right, right there. That is the phone number. That is the email address. If you got straight taxes, we're talking a heck of a lot cheaper than those people who set up in the mall. I'm not going to quote exactly, but it is by far the best price. And all of the latest
yeah, it's right there.
Right there. I know I should have got the sheet. It's a simple word. Accreditation, I guess you want to say. It's legal. It's legit. It's a good place. Check them out. Taxes Done Right. Shawn Brush is the guest here in the studio, and I pulled out a couple. I said, I want to play some recorded stuff. I got a whole bunch, and you're just like, whatever, Kev, what you got? And one of them was cuts, and one of the tunes off of this from the CD Cuts, Kutz.
Yeah,
that's that one there. And there's a great song on there that involves a very good friend of mine by the name of Frances Jewell, and she had a wonderful set of chairs, and one got smashed. But I remember. Yeah. I had one left. And it was the right size for you. And you said one day, you said, hey, I would love a good guitar playing chair. I need one, And I said, absolutely. I know as a large man, having a good, strong guitar playing chair that doesn't squeak, that's good, is important. And you said, I'll write her a song. And you sure enough did. But you couldn't remember her name was Frances, so you went with Amanda because it had a nice ring to it. But there's a song, and I had a little part in how that song was made and how it was written about somebody. And now you know what the song's about. I don't even have to ask Shawn. So you get to hear it off of the cut CD. It's a great tune. Amanda Jewell on barbershoppodcast.com.
Talk all you want about Amanda Jewell. I don't want to feel like anyone's fool. This chair I sit upon, yet can carry the weight of the world. My heart is gone, you know I fell for the girl. Talk all you want about Amanda Jewell. I don't want to feel like anyone's fool. In this chair I rule, and it feels just like a throne. And like a card I'm dealt, a king who is alone. Talk all you want about Amanda Jewell. I don't want to feel like anyone's fool. This chair I dream, you know it isn't very strong. I just looked around, realized now that she's gone. Talk all you want about Amanda Jewell. I don't want to feel like anyone's fool. Talk all you want about Amanda Jewell. I don't want to feel like anyone's fool.
All right, that is Shawn Brush, and the song is Amanda Jewell, and it is off the cut CD, something that we love. Get yourself some Shawn Brush, and you got any shows coming up in the near future?
Nothing immediate. Nothing immediate right now.
But you can always find out and be sure that you are tuned in to the scene. This is the only time when I'm supposed to slouch. Most of the time I'm not. All right, we are with Shawn Brush. We're talking about a life in music, and again, having the capacity and having the passion to do something and to continue to do it. So many people stop doing it just because whatever payoff that they've kind of set in their mind at some point.
Or reality.
Because it is, it can be a cruel mistress, that's for sure, right?
Yeah.
Was there some lessons that you feel compelled or at least qualified to share with someone perhaps younger, starting out in this business, things that perhaps at the age of 20 that you wish you would have known then that you know now?
I think the most important thing, looking back, it's easy, hindsight in your own thing, but to offer someone advice that's pay attention, learn from other people, But whatever drives you in the beginning, I wish I learned more musically, intellectually. I had better sat down and wrote more and worked at it instead of trying to hurry up and get to the next project.
Yeah.
I was in a hurry, but I was doing things, and I'm proud of everything I've done. But I wish I had a little bit more mentoring and patience and learning a little bit more, and my guitar playing, my singing, and musical knowledge, and also the business reality of music. It doesn't really play an important role when you're creating, and that's a good thing to remember. It's two separate things, totally. Never mix them in my book. Let the creative be creative. If you can make it work, however you make it work, you're really lucky. Take care of your body, take care of your mind, your mental health, and anybody who's not studying music in a academic way, because now they teach these things, to mental health and physical health and everything is all part of the, because in a broad sense, music, what do you do for a day job, right?
Yeah.
There's not too many people that make livings full-time from music, and the ones that do, there's no in between. It's, one is down and one is up, and they both work just as hard. And the musicians, anybody that I think holds a candle to what they do, they're the hardest working people. They'll work a day job, go and play all night, and it takes its toll. Look at Kevin McLean, the local guy. That guy used to play every night of the week and work every day, unbelievable, and he's quite a guy.
Yeah, he's quite a guy indeed.
Yeah.
And suffered a stroke and has bounced back remarkably well, but full of life and positivity. But again, a toll that is taken, the price that is paid.
Yeah. Well, that's not to say, that's just my critique on it,
Yeah.
And, but yeah, the music that you create, and if you can do the commercial thing and write music for, it's a bit of a lottery unless you're in Nashville or have kind of contacts to that to promote your songs, or you're signed to someone. It's, I haven't had any success doing it. I've sent songs to Nashville from the start, and I got a thank you letter and a no thanks, but I just kept at it, and I've met a lot of people and done a lot of things. So I don't know, they say it's 99% rejection.
Yeah, pretty much. And you do it for the right reasons, and those right reasons
you got to fulfill your own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just to back up, we were talking earlier, I did Steeltown in 2000, the CD then, where I covered a bunch of other artists. So I kind of felt that then what it was like, what it takes to get someone else's song. And then, you look at yourself and go, well, gee, no wonder. You're I'm dealing with a bunch of flakes sometimes. Yeah. I want to record your song. Send it to me.
Yeah.
And, I want to do it, and it's still hard.
Yeah. Careful what you ask for.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to ask for another live one. You got one in the bag for us?
Yeah, like I said, we started talking about the bluegrass in the beginning. So I'm going to play an instrumental called Tokoloshi. It's an African word from South Africa. It's the boogeyman. And I'll leave it at that. And it's something I've been working on. It's not recorded, so this is a live recording for prosperity.
There it is. It's a beautiful thing.
And I've been working on it for a while, so you're very lucky to, Did you hear that?
I did. It's going to be the next hit.
That's going to be the next hit. Sorry,
All right.
folks.
Toka Loki. This is
Tokaloshi.
Tokaloshi.
Yeah.
This is a song, folklore, South African.
Let me just before you do that, let me get.
You alternate tuning.
Yeah. I just want to make sure I'm all ready before we push the go button. Okay.
He's got it. This is Shawn Brush, and this is barbershoppodcast.com.
Were those guys playing on that? Yeah. They don't even know it.
They don't even know it, but it does not stop them. They are fearless. They're like, did I get this one in the mail?
It's an instrumental, jokers.
Yeah. They're playing their instruments. But that is it. That has got a wonderful kind of lilt vibe and a feel to it. Shawn Brush is in the house. We're playing a couple tunes. I think we're getting late into the night because we started late on this one. So we're gonna play Ryan. I think we're gonna skip right to MIA. Yeah. All right, and this is a miscellaneous in action. There must be a story as to what you were thinking and what you were feeling when you remember doing this record.
Hey, let me see that for a second, because yeah. Oops. I broke it for you. Can you grab that?
Yeah.
This is special effects here. It's part of the discontentment of the music industry. This was, 03, 04 or something, because I did Steel Town, and then I did Cuts and MIA, and
somewhere in between.
And after a while, doing these CDs, have you got some artwork? What do you want to do?
Right.
So I sent some pictures to the guy, and I said, make it look like a spy thing, so there's some files on the front, and it says top secret inside, and there's all kinds of spelling mistakes.
Good.
There's only one person who ever picked up on the title, Miss Alanis, and
right there, I would never have.
Yeah, and let me see, I got my glasses. Jeez, I can't even read this now. Hot on the trail of the elusive Shawn Brush, alias the Crooked Cowboy, also known as Stud Muffin, Pan Tokaloshi. Highly creative, armed with a quick wit, and considered dangerous, his weapon of choice, a Martin M36, which is the guitar I used to play all the time. I still have. So all my recordings have been that guitar acoustically. But anyway, it goes on in here to say a bunch of stuff, kind of like a file on a, you know, some like discontent with the music industry.
With a dangerous, wanted man. And this particular song is called Rhythm of the Road. Anything you want to tell us about that?
It's an autobiographical song. My friend Dave McLean is mentioned in it, and it's got a Johnny Cash kind of feel to it.
And there's nothing better than that. Another little slice of Shawn Brush, another part of his fascinating career. And this is a tune called Rhythm of the Road from Miscellaneous in Action.
Mutilated Case.
With the Mutilated Case on barbershoppodcast.com.
Well, I learned to play from the biggest man I ever saw. He stood about 10 foot tall, a giant, I suppose. Constable Clarence McLean, that's his name. He taught me more than just one thing, pick and sing. Like the rhythm of the road, the smell of the dust, lure of the gold, sound of the soul, a tick-tock like a metronome. Yeah, Big Dave played the old git box and the mandolin too. He cross-picked a fiddle tune. It blew my mind how his fingers flew. I drank my whiskey from an old fruit jar where the fiddles sawed through the broken bottles, the broken hearts. Why, I had to pick up my jaw. Like the rhythm of the road, the smell of the dust, lure of the gold, sound of the soul, a tick-tock like a metronome. From a honky-tonk to a concert hall, I played my blues, I paid my dues in a motel room. You know I'm gonna see it through. Yeah, the big time, my star will shine. 15 minutes, that's all that's mine. A moment or two, yeah, you know what I'm gonna do. Like the rhythm of the road, the smell of the dust, lure of the gold, sound of the soul, a tick-tock like a metronome.
Shawn Brush is in here. That is a little something that you can find on MIA, Rhythm of the Road. He has a lot of different songs, a lot of different projects. You never stop, and you're telling me you're excited about what you've got going on next. So tell us about what your mind has worked up.
Well, gee, I was real busy there from the early 90s up until, 2010. I wrote a book, I did a dozen CDs, and I haven't really put anything out, with all this, MP3 and all that stuff. I was disenfranchised with that. But I've stayed playing. Harry started coming to play bass with me, and then Mark Foley, and I've been learning jazz and different things. And I've got some new songs I want to record. I'd like to re-record some old songs and do a production kind of album, just as opposed to a live off the floor thing. And a lot of people that know me, if you don't know me and you're on the internet, I use a wheelchair, and I have a van that I got in 05 that's an 02 van, and it's starting to show its age. So one of the things I want to do is do a Kickstarter, get a new vehicle to help me keep playing, and also all the charity work I do.
Yeah.
I want to get the Shawn Brush Foundation going and keep me playing, and play for people that I enjoy playing for.
Yeah.
And that does a lot of good in the community, and then I can go and hopefully get a vehicle that I can maybe go and do a little traveling to, because I went to California in 2010, but it was really taxing on me. It's hard on anybody, but I came home, I had shingles.
Yeah, but you can certainly, how if you were to do it, that it can be done and how to do it. And having a vehicle that would allow you to do it is a big part of it. So if you're watching it, and it doesn't matter if you're watching it tonight or when this is on YouTube, this campaign probably is going to go on for a little while. Check it out. There'll be a link in the description, and support Shawn and his rock and roll Shazam mobile. If you're going to get it done like the Shazam,
Kind of like the Mystery Machine.
kind of. You got to get people's minds and imaginations fired up, which is tough to do. Sometimes it's tough to get out of bed and have the bounce, but you've always had a positivity to you. You've always been really upfront, and we've had some great talks, and I hope we continue to do so, and I hope you continue to make
come back.
music. Definitely come back.
When I get the new product, and that'll be part of the Kickstarter thing, pledge a couple of bucks, get a new album and a t-shirt and a hat, and maybe a book.
It's a deal.
Yeah.
It's a deal. Shawn Brush is already booked. You can see him. It could be in 3 months. It could be in 6 months. But you'll know because we're going to be on it. Shawn, fantastic having
Let's
you in
make
here.
it this fall.
Let's make it this fall, October 15th or thereabouts, middle of the month.
For my birthday.
Okay.
All right.
Let's do it. All right. For Shawn Brush, for Gary Greenland, for Ryan Cannon, this is your host, Kevin Barber. Thanks so much for joining us in this very special episode of Barbershop Podcast. See you next week.
Come on, baby.